Okay, how's it going? It's been a while since I've made a video talking to the camera. Probably been a couple weeks. I've collected some things over the last little while here. Not very many movies. I've barely watched movies lately. Yeah, not to get like political or talk about all that, but it's just actors have gotten so vocal with what they believe is right that I just don't want to watch and support them anymore because I don't care what side you support. You're a fucking actor. We need to go back to treating actors what they are. You're actors, you're pretenders. You should be looked at as probably less than normal humans because you're fake. Everything you do is fake. So why would I ever listen to anything you have to tell me about anything? Whether you're on the right side or the left side, I don't care. Shut the fuck up and act. It's a big reason why I just don't care anymore. I don't want to watch these people. So it's a big reason as to why I have just not really been watching movies lately. And when I have, it's stuff that I know is kind of politic free and I can just watch where it's not got some sort of built-in message that's just meant to degrade some group of people. So that's that. It's my little rant out of the way. It's why I haven't been watching movies lately. But let's just get into it. I only have a couple here, and most of the stuff I have is diecast related. I've been collecting more of that in my absence of collecting movies. And a couple of these are just duplicates. I already had them, but fuck it. Blue Streak. The case is in awful shape. It looks like it's worn down, but the disc is pretty much brand new. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if some dude owned this and just whipped it around a bunch of times, used it as a coaster, and then just left the disc in pretty much perfect condition. I don't love this movie. It's not great, but it's kind of one of those mid-90s to early 2000s Martin Lawrence comedies that I enjoy. You know, you can throw Bad Boys, Big Mama's House. What is the other one? National Security. He had a slew of comedies there for a while that I quite enjoyed. Even Life with Eddie Murphy's quite funny. I'd have to get that at some point. So I just wanted to have this because National Security is one of my favorite comedies from my childhood. And, you know, some days when I watch that, it's only an hour and 20 minutes. I want to throw something in after with Martin Lawrence in it. So I just throw Blue Streak in. And Luke Wilson's good in this. Owen Wilson's, I think he's his younger brother. And he's also in, what's that movie called? Old School, where he plays the Godfather. Great. So this is where I've gotten with my movie collecting. I've gotten most of the stuff that I would ever care to own. So now I'm moving on to shit like this that I'll probably never rewatch. I've seen Freddy Got Fingered a few times. It's one of the worst movies ever made. And anyone's aware of this that's seen it. To me, and to many people, Tom Green pretty much just took the money for this and went, I'm going to make the worst movie ever because it was a contractually obligated thing. He was forced to make this, basically. And they gave him complete creative control with the budget. He even mentions the money that he's given in the movie, the character. It's not Freddy because Freddy's his little brother. I can't remember the character that he plays in this movie. It's something stupid. I think it's Gord Brody. So they mention, you know, he's got all this money and he does stupid shit with it. That's kind of what he was doing in real life. He was just using this money to do whatever he felt like would be funny. Like a stupid set piece, like when he's licking his friend's wound. It's like a gaping bone. And he's just, or the deer scene where he just picks the carcass up and starts wearing it. Like, there's just so many random scenes in this that would never be in a movie now. So I almost appreciate it for that. And the whole running gag of that kid getting beaten worse and worse by accident is just hilarious. He gets hit in the face, and he's sitting there with, like, a really bad nosebleed. Or is it his head that's bleeding? He runs into the car. That's what happens. He runs into Gord's car by accident, and he gets up, and he's, like, gushing blood. And I can't help but laugh. And then at the end, off camera, you can hear him get chopped up by a fucking propeller. Or a jet engine, whatever it is. And it's absolutely hilarious. Those are a few scenes of this movie that I'll never forget. And the kid is, I'm okay, Daddy, I'm okay. After they're all covered in blood. Hilarious. But it's not a good movie. Notting Hill. I'm sorry, I left the stickers on all these, which is probably a little annoying, but peel that off real quick. This is not a good movie for me in terms of like the premise. It's a terrible message to give to women, especially. If you're richer than somebody, you can just take advantage of them. Treat them like shit, and they'll come crawling back to you because you're fit, you're rich and famous, and, you know, any guy in that position would probably I wouldn't. I'm just saying any guy who's in that guy's position where he's got no woman attention, and then all of a sudden the most famous actress in the world falls in love with him for some obscure reason because the plot makes them. Yeah, it's not great. My girlfriend really wanted to watch this. She visited Notting Hill 6 months ago when she was in the UK, so she was kind of curious to see the movie, so we'll check it out. I've already seen it a few times. Let's peel these off real quick. Now, I already own the X-Men movies. I have the first 4 in a pack, but the set that I have is kind of falling apart a little bit. And I already own First Class on Blu-ray by itself somewhere up there. And I own the rest of them individually, so I'll get to it in a second, I swear. This is just me kind of trying to fill the air while I'm taking these off that I should have taken off already. I apologize. So, X-Men, like I'm saying, I already own most of them individually except for the first 4. Well, it was the first 3. So now I own the first 2 here individually. There's the first X-Men. Yeah, we don't talk about Bryan Singer. You know, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about all the horrible shit that he did. I watched a documentary this week. I didn't really even know. I always had a sneaky suspicion Bryan Singer was gay, just because of the way he carries himself, and he's never had a wife, and he's 60 years old, so I just figured something had to be going on there. But to find out he had like a pedophile ring going on in Hollywood for all these years, and people just kind of turned a blind eye, including all of the actors, just makes you wonder how many other creepy motherfuckers are out there in Hollywood, and none of these people are innocent. If you knew that he was doing something, you're guilty by association as far as I'm concerned. But as for the movies themselves go, X-Men 2 is my favorite X-Men movie. It always will be. There will not be one that comes along that does better than this. I can guarantee you that. Wolverine's just so good. Hugh Jackman. And the first one for 2000, I think it's aged pretty well. Obviously, there's a few CGI shots here and there that kind of make you go oof. But the story overall is good. I kind of like that you follow Rogue in this movie. She's kind of like the main character, and then these other movies, like X-Men 2, just kind of forgets about her. She's in it, but she's not really the main character anymore. So I kind of like that you got Rogue as the main character. I've always kind of been fascinated by her powers. And like I said, X-Men 2, fucking amazing. It really is. For all the stuff that went on behind the scenes, I try to forget it because I just love this movie so much. And Stryker is just one of my favorite villains ever, especially in this movie. Just fucking creepy motherfucker. Now let's get into the diecasts. Okay. So these are going to be hard to show. But these are the Jada Nano Fast and the Furious. I finally got my hands on the Eclipse. I went with my buddy to the store. I have been collecting these. I have some right here for proof. Here's the Supra from Fast 9. Here's the Charger Daytona. And here's the Lykan Hypersport. You'll find hundreds of these. And here's the Charger. I think it's from Fast 9. So all of these cars that you'll open up 20 of them before you actually get a good one. I finally got the Eclipse, which was beautiful. I opened this one myself, thank God. My friend, he felt a wing and he's like, I think it's the Eclipse. So hopefully you can see that. And then he pulled the Supra because he knew I needed it so bad and wanted it so bad. He gave this to me. So that was nice. We traded. I do like this Supra. I don't like the black rims. I don't know why they take these creative liberties with Jada cars. It will always kind of irk me. But it's nice to own those finally. Put these off to the side. It's nice that they're metal. You buy a Hot Wheels or you buy any of these other dinky cars, they're pretty cheaply made. Those Jada Nano ones, you could throw those at a wall and nothing's going to happen. So this is old. I remember having a big collection of these when I was 2 or 3 years old. This is 2003, I believe. Yeah, 2003. So I would have been 2 when they released this line. And I remember having all of them. The Eclipse, the Jetta, the RX-7, multiple Chargers, all of them, all the cars that were available. I had the main set, and I saw this for $30. This usually ranges between $70 to $100, and it's in pretty decent shape, so I figured I'm hopping on this right now. I'm never pulling this out of the package, but this is a childhood toy that sticks with me, and I'm going to try and get my hands on the Eclipse and Supra. I don't really, like the RX-7 would be nice. I don't need it. The Eclipse and Supra were always my 1-2, so this was a nice entryway into there for a cheap price, and hopefully I can get my hands on some, more top-of-the-line cars that we all want. I'll get this out of the way because this is not Fast and the Furious, but I was scrolling through. It was Black Friday, and I'm a big Gone in 60 Seconds fan. Both versions. I love the original for what it is, the longest chase scene in film history, but I also enjoyed this 2000 version with Nicolas Cage, where it's almost a Fast and Furious movie. So I needed to get my hands on an Eleanor inbox. It's not big, it's a dinky car, but I would try and collect a few more of these if I can find, like a 1/42nd scale or something. I don't know. Something. This is 164, so I think Greenlight made the 140-something scale of this in the original. I'd like to get my hands on those. But this is brand new, 2025, so I figured before these go out of stock on Amazon or shoot up in price, I'll grab it. It was 25 bucks, whatever. It wasn't anything insane. So, nice to own Eleanor there. Now let's move on to the Jada. This is, what is this, 143, I believe. So this is the, I'm blanking, the Charger from Fast 5 that all of them end up driving in the race scene, where the $1 million quarter mile that Brian wins because Dom lets him. I've got a bigger version of this I'll show later. This is more accurate, and people online are aware of it too, but when I had them side by side when I was buying them, I was like, this one looks a lot more film accurate with the rims and everything. So it just depends on the size. Like, to me, the Skyline wheels are a lot better on the 143 scale. If I'm getting that wrong, forgive me, it's 140 something, than the 124th. So they switch things up like that, but besides that, it's pretty much the same car. It's nothing special, it's just another one from my collection. And same goes for this. This is in the movie for 2 seconds at the end of Fast 6. You barely see this thing. It's just in the driveway when they show back up at Dom's house when they get their pardon. I do like it though. It's got a cool wide body, and we just don't see enough of it, unfortunately, to justify me saying it's a great car. It's got a sick wing on the back though. And I think I like it more than this GTR, which is the other one that I bought, which is from Fast 7, or Furious 7, I should say. How dare I? There's a hair on top. This is in the movie a little more, but it's just kind of plain looking. Dark blue with a carbon fiber hood. There's not really much special to it. This just looks beautiful in comparison, and it's got a more similar blue to his Skyline from the 4th movie, so I just like this a little more. But there's nothing wrong with this one. I'm happy to own both. And I found them in the same store, so I figured I'll just take both of them. And now we've got a couple 1/24 scales. I guess I'll get this out of the way first because I mentioned it, but the rims just look so much different, do they not? And I don't like the way they look on this. Like, it's just not right. If you go look at the picture from the movie, it ain't right. But besides that, I think they did a pretty decent job. Again, I'm not going to fuss over a car that's pretty much this irrelevant to the entirety of the franchise. It's not really memorable. It's not a decaled up car like an Eclipse or Supra that I really, need perfect detail for. So I'm not going to get too picky, but I would have preferred a little more film accuracy. And last but not least, the Supra from Fast 9. This is Hans. And I always loved that this has the same paint job as his RX-7 Vilside from Tokyo Drift. It's even got the little black on the side, black on the hood. So they're kind of nodding to his most memorable and iconic car, and probably one of the most iconic cars in the franchise. So I like it for that. I don't love the Supra look. I don't like the body. I don't like the design of it very much. But I'm now up to, I think, 19 or 20 of these 124 scales in box. So I just want to keep adding the ones that I find that I'm actually, somewhat interested in. There's been a couple where I'm like, I don't need that. Roman's Gold Lambo I've seen 100 of. I don't want it. There's a Datsun that Letty drives. I don't care. Stuff like that I'm not buying. But if it's like this, where it's iconic enough, because it was Han's return to the franchise, whether you agree with his decision to bring him back or not, seeing him peel around that corner during that scene where they're heisting that truck, or they're getting heisted, one or the other, it was pretty iconic. So that's that. That's my little collection of stuff that I've gotten over the last little while. It's nothing insane. I'm sure I'll make another one of these videos after Christmas. But that is that. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.